give a detailed explanation of what I would like you to do for the annotated bibliography. We started on this project maybe a little bit today, but the bulk of it is going to be done, here, I'll click here, on the 26th, the 28th, and then the 3rd, and then I've made it due the 5th. So my goal is to kind of move on the 5th. So that gives us 3 class days to work on it. And we're just devoting those 3 class days to working on it, as well as me kind of meeting with some of my kids to talk to them about how things are going. So I think that's pretty doable because the assignment is 15 sources. And so that way we have 1 class day for trying to get done about 5 of them. And I think that's something we can make work. So in this assignment, I have a couple of things for you. I'm going to click here. You each have a copy of this. So we're completing this kind of after building that perspectives web. And your perspectives web, don't worry about the citations, and I'm not too concerned with the details. I'm just looking for you identifying those topics that are in your main question and kind of thinking about how we can narrow that down into a research question that has a gap. So there needs to be 15 sources total. 12 of them can be from academic journals, and then up to 3 of them can be from popular sources. So like New York Times, the NIH, that kind of thing. If you want to use a popular source that's not necessarily credible, like say Reddit, then it has to be because you want to incorporate it somehow into your project, and you'll just have to kind of double check with me. So I've given you an outline below, and then I'd like it if we could do all of our citations, all of us in APA, just because it is the most commonly used format. I don't think I have anyone so far who is doing like a content analysis who would use MLA. And if you wanted to use like a history paper, you would use Chicago. But again, I don't think I have a whole lot of overlap there. This just clarifies the difference between a scholarly source and a popular source. So for each annotated bibliography, I would like a citation that is in APA format. I've given you an example below, so it'll look like this, except for a hanging indent, but essentially like this. And then you have a summary of the source. So your summary is clear, it's detailed. You tell me like what the source is about. It should be concise. You don't have to go into crazy detail, and you might want to target it, right? So if I'm using a source because I want to use it for my methods, then I'm not going to waste sentences explaining the reason behind the study if my main goal is just to talk about how it uses an experimental method that I think is interesting. Credibility of the source, if it's from an academic journal, all I need is a line that says, this is from blah, blah, blah journal, or this is from the scientific journal called blah, blah, blah. If it's from, say, a popular source like the Washington Post, then I would want to know a little bit about the author, about like what their credentials are outside of working for the Post. Are they a writer? Are they writing an opinion piece? Are they an expert within their field? Like, tell me more about that author. So you might have to have a little bit more here if it's just a popular source. Connection to your research topic is how it connects directly. So we are kind of merging these into it together. And then plan for use in academic paper. It is okay if this plan changes. 100%. I am not going to go back in February and look at your annotated bibliographies and go, you said you were going to use this paper in your methods, and I don't see it anywhere. But I would like you to have a little bit of a plan for, I think this is going to go in my lit review. I think that I'm going to use this to support my gap. This is like how I'm going to do my method maybe. And so this is why I'm using this paper, that kind of stuff. So I chose from a couple years ago a student who wrote one entry. And here's the entry here. So there's their citation. And then we've got a paragraph, really concise, kind of summing up what the paper was about. And then we've got another paragraph. So we've got one sentence. It's credible because it's published by the APA. That's all I need. It's 2008, therefore it's still relevant, so they added a little bit more. And then finally, we've got a few sentences on, this is how it connects to my paper. This is how I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it in the lit review. Did I go back and check that they used it in the lit review? No, but I'm pretty sure it came up. So then I just break it down spot by spot for you to use. So there's 15 of these. So citation here, and then the bulk of your writing will go here. I'm going to use this rubric to kind of check each source. So that's how I'll sort of be grading this whenever the time comes. And I put also an example here from, the Writing Center, I think from Purdue Al. And they just sort of give you a little bit extra of what an annotated bibliography looks like. And so if you want to use some of that for scaffolding, then that might be a good idea. But I think they do a good job convincing it. And then finally, I introduced prep number 4. And so in prep number 4, I have a few questions. A couple of you already turned in. Wow. And I think let's just answer the question actually on Google Classroom. It's been a lot of work for me and for you guys, I think, to go through and find the questions, copy them into that prep journal, and then find the prep journal and all of this. So I think I'll post it as a question and you can answer it in the thing, and I'll type feedback so that no one can see it. Okay? That is it. That's all. Email me if you have any questions. Thanks.